In a previous video, I believe I mentioned that I joined the RIX team as a pro staffer. I'm not the only pro staffer on YouTube producing videos. If you want to check out Own the Hunt, Coyote Heathens, and Sergeant of Arms, they're also producing some really neat RIX videos as well. And if you're at the SHOT Show, check out booth 43752. Tell them I sent you. And now to the main event. Allow me to introduce you to the RIX Optics Storm Series thermal weapon sights. These are a small, lightweight, about 20-ounce thermal weapon sight. The two models that I'm going to be evaluating come in 256 resolution and 384 resolution. This is a very budget-minded optic. They're actually quite good, as I found out. So here I'm doing the unboxing. Let's see what's inside the box. I've got a little information card about RIX. We are RIX. We have good products. We hope you enjoy it. There's a little quick start guide. This was very important for me figuring out how to mount the scope onto the rifle. Things are set up a little bit differently than what I'm used to. It's actually a very nice system, works very well. I'm pleased with it. And of course you have the user manual. If you've used any other sort of electro-optics previously, using the Storm models is going to be very easy. You'll still have to use the manual for a couple things, but generally speaking, if you've had any experience, you're not going to need the manual. So there's the optic itself, but let's see what else is in the box first. We have some thermal targets. And it comes with 10 of them. And they say RIX on them. And I thought this was really neat. It comes with a nice scope cover. This is a neoprene type of scope cover. I remember when Scope Coat made scope covers early on, and I had them for my Hogs. You know, it's just a nice addition to have on your scope when you're transporting your rifle, or to keep your rifles from banging into your scopes in the safe and whatnot. That was the lens cloth. Of course, all the optics are going to come with lens cloths. That's nothing new. And let's see, in this box there's going to be the 18650 battery charger. It'll charge 2 batteries at a time. And in moving the box, I know there's something else in there. It's the Allen wrench. It's actually tucked under one of the folds of one of the boxes. I didn't get it out at this time, but it is in there. The scope itself, nice little scope. When I put it on my scale, it came in at 20.3 ounces. Aside from the mounts on the side, you have the power button, and then you have the USB port. And with the exception of the menu button that I'm pointing to, these next 4 buttons all have a different function, whether you're using them straight off the scope or if you're in the menu at 2 levels of menu. So they actually have about 12 functions total between them. Now what I like about this is that they're actually very easy to use, and they've arranged them in a hierarchical manner such that the things that you tend to use most are the things that you're going to see first. I mentioned that it comes with 2 18650 batteries. They are not shown in this video, however. So, it comes with the scope, it comes with the thermal targets, battery charger, lens cloth, scope cover, all the appropriate documentation, and of course it comes with the 2 18650 batteries and the Allen wrench, which I did not get out of the box. So let's move forward and see how these are going to perform in the field. You can see what it looks like mounted on the rifle. And here I'm looking at some white-tailed deer at about 60 yards. And as you can see, the scope has picture-in-picture. Here the main image is at 3.5 magnification, that's native. And the picture-in-picture is going to be double that at 7. Now following through a run-through of the color palettes. A little calibration right there. And I'll be honest with you, I'm really much more of a black hot or white hot kind of guy, but the color options I have here, I like this one. This one's kind of cool. I may have to use this on a couple of hunts. And while we're waiting here on the video, I'm going to show something neat that's going to pop on the screen. When you press the menu button, it will actually bring up the menu on the screen. And there we go. And so you can change, what I'm doing right now is changing the crosshairs with the button on the right, and you can see the button light up, and I can change the color by pressing the button on the left hand side of the screen. The top one's going to be contrast, the bottom one's going to be brightness. When you're on this level of the menu. I think there's some good reticle choices. I like the color options. They look good on the scope and they look good on video. I thought this was kind of neat, stacking up 3 deer at different distances so you can see how well the scope is performing at each of the distances. I should have panned the picture-in-picture over them, but that wasn't what I was thinking about at the time that I did the video. And the first hog I've seen with the S2 is this hog out there at about 400 plus yards on the neighbor's property. I sped up the video. He's transiting the field heading over to where the hunters have a feeder set up, I believe. And then Carpe Sus, first hogs with the Storm S2. And I'm in a completely different area and the conditions are completely different than where I was previously. And right now I'm on a brand new property. I've been on it 3 times previously. I haven't shot anything here. And to be quite honest with you, in the dark I'm a little disoriented as to where I am exactly on the property, and I've got to be wary of the fence lines, etc., etc., etc. So I'm scanning around, taking a look at things, making sure I know what's what. But I do know the hogs right there in front of me. They are on the property that I hunt, and they should not be there. So I should probably see about putting some Federal Spear TNT 90 grain bullets into them. They're leaving the barrel at somewhere around 2,700, 2,800 feet per second. I don't remember exactly where. And my chronograph is broken, so that's not going to be revised. Oh, and as pointed out previously, the picture-in-picture has about double the magnification as the main screen that you're looking at. Now when I'm going to be aiming for this shot, I'm going to be using picture-in-picture to take the initial shot and picking up runners on the big screen. I wasn't happy with the follow-up shots. When you're using a new scope, it can be hard to assess how far away the hogs are when the magnification is different than what you're used to. And so the sizes of the hogs look different on the screen, so they look further or closer away. And I just completely missed my assessment of that and did not lead appropriately. But I had a hog down. Alright, we got a pig that's down across the fence. I don't have permission to cross the property, but it is probably 25 yards on the other side of the fence. By picture, it looks a lot farther away with a 1x camera, and using my headlamp, it just looks like a bump in the field. Now moving on to the next night with the Storm S3, which is a 384 resolution thermal weapon sight. The weather has changed drastically. We're down to 18 degrees. The winds are quite gusty. I'm getting the video here using my truck as a windshield or windscreen. I'm looking at some deer out there at about 640 yards, and I'm going to go ahead and zoom in all the way to give you an idea what this is going to look like. And in a moment you're going to see a quick shot on the hog. I'm out from behind the truck. It's no longer screening the wind, and the wind is quite strong. Here we go.
Brass Catcher by Tactical Brass Recovery.
Well, at least this time I managed to keep the hog on the property and get a nice picture of the scope with the first boar taken with it. And it was a nice 170-pound boar. Very pleased with that. Carpe sus, my friends.